do this, don't do that.
In the Olympics, the USA women's 3-on-3 basketball team took home the gold medal in the sports debut, and Simone Biles has withdrawn from all-around competition in Tokyo to focus on her mental health and well-being. In the NFL, Dolphins defensive back Xavier Howard has requested a trade from Miami, saying he does not feel valued, and an autographed Patrick Mahomes card has sold for $4.3 million, the most ever for a football card. In Major League Baseball, Joey Votto hit 2 home runs at Wrigley to help the Reds beat the Cubs 7-4. The Chicago White Sox plated 4 runs in the 8th inning to rally and beat the Royals 5-3 last night. There are 5 day games today, which feature the Red Sox in Toronto, Houston and Seattle, Oakland versus the Padres, and more. For our latest sports news and updates, keep it tuned right here to 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
And here we go.
You're in the Recruiting Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You're the 2 o'clock.
Yes, I am.
Here are your hosts, Mike Schaefer and Connor Happer. Brought to you by Bubbles and Blocks.
Welcome into the Recruiting Hour. Mike Schaefer here at the Mark in Elkhorn. And Connor Happer is back in the studio. Happer, we got a little bit of an echo going on here.
Okay, I'll figure that out. I think I have done it. How's that?
Sounds better.
Excellent. Sorry about that. Go ahead. How are we doing today, Shave?
We are good. We are at the Warren Academy Future 50 event, the recruiting event that he has going on. The Media Days portion has now started in the afternoon. And we have a guest right here sitting right with us. Aurora linebacker Mac Owens was requested on the text line earlier this week, and so we made sure we got him. And he happens to be guest number 1 with us today. Mac, how's it going?
Good. It's going good.
Good. So this event, Steve Warren, we had him on Monday. He was talking to us about it. He did a showcase last year. He didn't want to do another showcase. He said a lot of guys, people like you, have been going around to different camps so far this summer. He wanted to do something fun, dreamt up with this Media Day activity idea. How's it been so far for you here?
It's been really good. There's been like a seminar about the NIL, and I learned a lot during that. And just being able to see other recruits here has been nice, just because I live so far away from like Omaha and Lincoln, where like there are a lot of recruits from the state. So it's been nice being able to see other people just, I would say, at a higher level of football.
For sure. So you were out in Aurora. Aurora played for the Class B title last year. You've had an opportunity to go to some different camps, to get yourself in front of some different coaching staffs. How would you kind of say the recruiting process has been for you as you go through this summer entering your senior year?
It's been good. There's been like a lot of different things that I've learned throughout the recruiting process, just for me, what I want to look at in college and everything like that. So far, I have offers from Idaho State, UND, University of North Dakota, and then USD, University of South Dakota. And right now, just like looking at those 3 different schools and weighing my options and seeing what I like in the school the most. So
yeah. What was it like for you? I don't know which of those first came through with an offer, but what was it like for you when you kind of found out, like, hey, I'm going to have an opportunity to go play college football?
I was excited. I was really excited. But in the back of my mind, I feel like I've always wanted to play at the next level. So, like, always having that goal in mind, I feel like it was more of an expectation than, like, just more of like an excitement piece. So,
yeah. So it's almost like it was checking the box because you felt like you were going to do this, and then the offers came in, and then now you have 3 to choose from and hopefully more as you go about doing it. When you kind of set your summer schedule up, were there certain schools you knew you wanted to hit, or was it sort of based on who you were hearing from at the time as to how you wanted to go about doing the camp thing?
It was kind of based on who I was hearing from the most. Just like, for example, like Nebraska and Wyoming, those were like the first schools that talked to me. And so I wanted to go and head up their camps. And those are also schools that I would definitely go to. So just schools that I'm interested in, but also have been talking to me too. So
what was it like? I mean, you're part of the first class that really got this opportunity where you had these workouts that you could go, and I think you did it at Nebraska, where you could go and then you have an individual workout. You can work with the staff. You can spend time, getting the opportunity to actually show what you can do. Whereas in the past, it would have been either you're part of like a 400 person camp and you're hoping to flash in like the 5 reps you get in an hour.
It's nice. It's definitely different. When I did my one at Wyoming, it was just me, so it was kind of just like a little bit of shock factor because it's just you in there, and then the whole coaching staff is watching you. But also at the same time, like you kind of have that comfortability level, and you can meet the coaches on like a different level rather than them having their attention differed on 400 different kids. It's more personable, and so you get to like have more of a connection with that coaching staff. So that's what I liked about it more. In the camp setting, like you can meet new people and everything like that, but also you have a chance to like show your athleticism and like how competitive you are against other people. So there's ups and downs from the camp to the evaluation, but I would say I probably like the evaluation better.
Yeah. Was it nerve-wracking? I mean, you just have like a staff that's like watching you run these drills.
Yeah.
And it's just you on the field.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little bit nerve-wracking the first like 5 minutes I was there. I was like, oh, it's just me there. So, but after a while, like being in like pressure situations, like for me, it wasn't really that big of a deal. So you kind of just have to learn with it. And especially if you're going to be playing at the higher level, you're going to have high pressure situations that you're going to have to deal with.
Yeah.
So you're just going to have to be comfortable with it, I guess. So
Absolutely. So you mentioned you told me before we started this interview your goal is to leave as a state champion. Aurora made it to the title game last year. What does Aurora have to do to get back to the Class B title game in 2021?
I would say focus on ourselves and just like bonding as a team and everything like that, and not as many mistakes last year. I feel like last year we were a good team, but if we kind of rode the wave a little bit, so if something bad would happen during a game, then we just have to be able to bounce back from that. So I feel like that was our problem. And I feel like with the leadership that we're going to have this year and the underclassmen and the experience that we have, because we have a lot of experience, I would say our senior class didn't have as much experience as like the junior class per se. And so a lot of the people returning are going to be able to like, they've been there before. They've been in that situation. So they're going to know what to do when like adversity strikes. So.
And what about you personally? Where do you kind of see yourself, maybe what you've done this off season that you can elevate you parts of your game as you go into your senior year?
This off season, I would say like just like with the weight room and everything, and like being like a mentor to those freshmen and sophomores and everything like that. I feel like I'll just be a guy to like for just being able to lead the team. Like me and my teammate Gage Griffith, another person that's a prominent leader on the team, just being able to lead the team in a positive direction. Yeah. So
is the leadership thing, is that something you had always been comfortable with? Like, have you always kind of been like a vocal guy, or is it something that as you've gotten a little bit older and because of your own sort of talents, you know it's something that you have to address, you have to really work at?
I would say like my freshman, sophomore year, I would say I was a leader, but not more vocally, because I never really wanted to like be vocal and like seem like it's like I'm out of my place.
Right.
So, I mean, this year I feel like that's kind of an expectation, especially since I'm a senior. So I am more vocal, and I'm a little bit more comfortable with that just because nobody else is really there to do it besides me and Gage and the other seniors on the team. So
yeah, absolutely. One of the things that was interesting last year, I mean, Class B, you have all of these different teams, and it felt like so many of them that we would talk about, and part of it is just my shows in Lincoln, is we were focusing so much on these schools from the eastern part of the state, and not that Aurora is that far west.
Yeah.
Do you sometimes feel like that you get forgotten about a little bit out there, the further you get away from Omaha and Lincoln, where everyone's talking about Waverly and Norris? You're talking about Scott, Roncalli, Bennington. You have all of those schools. Do you feel like people kind of forgot a little bit about Aurora, and then you were able to make a run last year in the state playoffs?
I mean, a little bit from like a standpoint of like, say like a Norris, where like, I mean, half of them don't really know what's out there besides where you're at. So, I mean, we knew where we were. We knew what expectations we had as a team. And so like eventually we were able to accomplish that. And I mean, even talking with our coach, like we had a high expectations from the season. I mean, I remember going to our first like team meeting that he was saying that we were going to be playing in the state championship, and we did. So, I mean, I feel like a lot of people just forget about the western side of the state just because it's not as populated, but that doesn't mean that there's not as much talent there. And you can obviously see that just because of what happened last year.
Yeah, absolutely. And teams like Hastings and
Hastings had a good run. And I feel like Class
Green
B
Island
last year
Northwest
just was so competitive, and you never knew which team was going to be on top.
Yeah.
So
no, you're absolutely right. I mean, it's a loaded class, and naturally, I mean, there's always a lot of conversation about Class A because it's the biggest classification, but a lot of competition in Class B. I mean, you guys had to beat some good teams to get to that state title game, and you'll have to do it again in 2021.
definitely.
So, finishing up here with you've had an opportunity to visit schools, to talk with different coaching staffs. As you sort of go through the rest of your recruitment, what are some of the key factors for you as you kind of decide, like, this is where I want to go as I look?
I would say definitely the team dynamic, because, I mean, you're going to be there for 4 years. So if you don't get along with your teammates, then what's the point of even being there? And then also, I would say from an academic standpoint, what does the school have to offer academically? Because, I mean, I love football, but football isn't forever. So you have to think about that aspect too. So I would say those are the two main things that I look at, because that's going to be the two most important things. Also, your coaching staff too, because they're going to be the people that you're with. They're going to be the people that are pouring into you and teaching you what to do. And so I would say having a good coaching staff, having a good team dynamic, and then having a good school academically are probably the three main important things that I look at. So
Very nice. Do you know what you want to do for school? Like,
I would
do
say,
you have a major already kind of selected?
Yeah, business marketing
Okay.
is something I've been interested in just because of the social aspect of business, networking, and everything like that. So I feel like business is always something that's like fast growing, and you can excel at it quickly, especially if you're good at it. So
Did the open doors conversation today with the NLI, did that kind of speak to you as someone that's interested in business and marketing?
So
nice. So we can look for some potential Mac Owens brands
maybe
popping up down the line.
Yep.
Outstanding. Hey man, we appreciate it. Thank you for
Thank you.
coming on with us today. That was Aurora linebacker Mac Owens joining us here. Happer, you have covered quite a few Class B games. You remember last fall we were talking about not knowing what was going to happen in that class.
Yeah.
And Mac Owens is proof that anything can happen in Class B.
No, yeah, we didn't really have a sense there, and we can switch it out there, but we didn't really have a sense of what was going to happen at all in Class B last year, and you know, it was you could go any of those top 8 teams, top 6 or 8 teams, and then it wasn't ultimately that much of a surprise with the 2 that we ended up in the state championship game. So yeah, and that's a good play. That's a player there that you talked to that I'd certainly be more intrigued to see this year. And speaking of that, it looks like we have another one sitting down. Schaefer.
Yeah, it is. It's pandemonium, and you're about to see him maybe try to dive into the camera here. Mike Sauter has sat down at the table.
Oh, great.
As well. That is the hardest
is.
working man in the Nebraska sports media. Also, we have Maverick Noonan here from Elkhorn South joining us on the show. Just straight stole him from Parker Gabriel. We made a trade. We traded Mac Owens for Maverick Noonan. Maverick, thanks for joining the show.
Yep.
We are excited to get the chance to chat with you. You've been busy. You were just at Iowa State, just a few days ago?
Yeah, I was just at Iowa State. I just got to know the coaches and stuff, but I plan on going to Nebraska on Friday and then making the trip down to Missouri on Saturday. So, yeah.
Very nice.
Yep.
So taking advantage of this little open period that we have here in July with recruiting.
Yeah. I didn't get to go to too many places during June. I just went to Nebraska, and that was it. So I hope to learn some more about these other schools.
Yeah. How has you're a class of 2023. You, I believe, already have 5 or 6 Power 5 offers at this point in time. How has kind of the recruiting process been for you as it sort of just started and then just snowballed with several of these area schools just jumping in right away?
Yeah, it's been fun. It's been fun getting to know all these coaches and all that. So I like going to the visits and stuff, getting to know other coaches, facilities, all that sort of stuff. So it's been fun.
Is it fun for you to? I mean, and I don't know how much you watch college football, but you see these programs on television. You see a guy like Matt Campbell, when they're playing Oklahoma, and then just the other day, you're like getting to go hang out in Ames, and I'm assuming you got to meet them when you were there.
Yeah, it's cool. Just when I was a little kid watching these on TV, so I'm actually getting to know these coaches and players and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, so it's been cool.
Yeah. What as the son of a former Nebraska football player, do you feel any sort of, I don't know if pressure is the right word, but do you feel any sort of pull more towards Nebraska than some of these other schools, or are you trying to keep everything as open as possible, even though your dad may have went to Nebraska? That doesn't necessarily have to be your path.
Yeah, well, to be honest, I don't really have too much bias towards Nebraska just because my dad went there. He's kind of just leaning back and letting me make the decision. I just want to go to as many colleges as I can and see what they have to offer and which one's better than the other. That's the main thing. Yeah. So I don't really have a bias towards Nebraska at all. So
nice. And I mean, what did you think it is about your game that has so many of these different schools interested in you already at this point? I mean, you're going into your junior year and you have these offers. What do you think it is that you're bringing to the football field to bring in that level of interest?
Yeah, mainly I think they're just looking at me as rushing the passers, what they think I can do the best at. So that's the main thing. And then hand usage, they like that. So yeah.
I mean, you're a big kid. You're a defensive lineman. What do you like about playing on the defensive side of the ball?
It's fun just tackling the not getting tackled. I like bringing down those quarterbacks. It's one of the best feelings. So yeah.
How much did your game sort of improve by the fact that when you were at practice, you were going against some of the top offensive linemen in the state, whether it was Teddy Prohaska, whether it was Zadishka? I mean, you just have very good linemen at Elkhorn South, always have. How much does that kind of improve you because you have to work against those guys when you are at practice?
Yeah, especially with Teddy, I'd go against him in practice. So if you want to be good, you have to go against the best people in the state. So yeah, it was just nice going against some good competition like that.
For sure. Yeah. You said you're going to Nebraska on Friday. Is that a chance to watch them practice, or what's going on there?
Yeah, I'm just going to go down there, watch their practice, see how Coach Dawson runs everything. So yeah, just to get to know him a little bit more.
Nice. Yeah. So is Nebraska more viewing you? Because I was thinking defensive end. Is Nebraska more viewing you as an outside linebacker?
Yeah, more outside linebacker. Just somewhere I can rush the passer.
Nice.
Yeah.
How do you? I mean, because right now your hand is in the dirt for the most part, right?
Yeah.
You're in a 3-point stance. Do you think that's something you'd be able to transition to fairly easily?
Yeah, especially this year. I'm starting to play a little bit outside backer for our high school team. So I've worked a little bit on the 2-point stance. It's not too crazy different. So I feel like that'll be a pretty easy transition to make.
Yeah, absolutely. So we were talking about Mac Owens and his team made the Class B title game. You guys made the Class A title game last year. What does Elkhorn South have to do? I mean, obviously you're replacing some big pieces, but what's next for Elkhorn South in this 2021 season?
Yeah, like you said, we lost a lot of seniors, or basically our whole line. But last year we had a lot of backups. We were we had a lot of depth last year, and they're coming back too. So I feel like our defense is really strong this year, just like it was last year. So I feel like if we just play like we did last year, and then I think we can make it back and possibly win the state championship this year. Yeah.
Very nice.
Yep.
Very nice. Last thing for you here, as you kind of look at your recruitment, you have some of these offers already. Are there some schools that you're hearing from that you're kind of waiting to see if that offer is going to follow?
A little bit. I went to the Notre Dame camp earlier in June, so that's one that I'd like to get, and then but mainly just working out, lifting, and then those will come eventually if they see my game. Yeah.
Nice. How was just this Media Days experience for you here at the Warren Academy Future 50?
Yeah, it's been pretty fun just getting to know all these players here. A lot more people I haven't really interacted too much with, but yeah, getting to know them is pretty fun. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Maverick, thank you for joining us today. We appreciate it, and our coverage here at the Warren Academy Future 50 will roll on. We got a couple more guys we're going to go and grab here. after the break. Stick around. We'll have some more players, some more interviews here on the Recruiting Hour.
You're listening to the Recruiting Hour with Mike Schaefer and Connor Happer on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, Andy Neal of Cartridge World. We are not a big box store that sells everything and specializes in nothing. Cartridge World is your local expert when it comes to streamlining office printing and scanning. No big box can match our proven no-cost lease program. We customize solutions that supply you with multifunction printers and all the required service just for buying cartridge roll, ink, and toner at a 30% savings. Call for a no-cost consultation, 464-3455, or go online to cartridgeworld.com.
Allo provides so much more. Safer screen time, more of the channels you love, and real peace of mind. Take it from Richard in Lincoln, who gets more with Allo.
The internet is twice as fast as competitors, and the whole package is saving me $60 per month. As a retired veteran, this extra money is fantastic.
So switch to Allo today. Go to allofiber.com/providing more.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Heat advisories will remain in effect this afternoon and tomorrow afternoon as the heat and humidity linger on. We'll top out near 99 today. It will feel closer to 105. Tonight, a low down to around 75. A high of 97 tomorrow with heat index values again well over 100. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Mike Schaefer here with five-star child care provider Lee Beecher from Bubbles and Blocks. Let's start with what makes Bubbles and Blocks special.
We have 3 beautiful locations in Lincoln that provide the safety, security, and reliability you need while also bringing a family feel to each classroom at every location.
I also hear some congratulations are in order.
Thank you. Yes, we just won the Lincoln Choice Award for Best Daycare and Preschool for the 3rd year in a row.
What should people do if they want to join the Bubbles and Blocks family?
Call to set up a tour to enroll your child today, or you can visit bubblesandblocks.com to apply to join our team.
Everyone loves a good deal, and there's plenty of great options right now at Brown Shoe Fit for their summer clearance sale. Check out their multiple sizes and widths and sandals with brands like Clark's, Keen, Atrex, and many more. Hurry in for the best selection because this sale only goes to the end of the month. It's the summer clearance sale at Brown Shoe Fit, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
Get in, get out, and get your hands on a great career. At Southeast Community College, we have more than 50 programs of study to choose from, and our class sizes allow for more personal attention and a comfortable learning environment. Take a tour of our 3 campuses in Beatrice, Lincoln, or Milford, or visit the Career Advising Center if you're not sure where to begin. The fall semester starts August 23rd. Go to southeast.edu/academics to find your next step. SCC, your path to possible.
The decision to replace your air conditioner will save or waste money for 15 to 20 years. Bryant offers some of the most efficient ACs available, up to 26 SEER. Schedule your free estimate at BryantLincoln.com.
Summertime is here and the temperature is rising. Beat the heat at the Pawnee Plunge Water Park in Columbus all summer long. Pawnee Plunge features a full day of fun for the whole family, including the flow ride, the only one in Nebraska, a large swimming pool, diving boards, a lazy river, climbing wall, and of course, massive water slides. It's a great place for parties or a great spot to lounge around all day long. Book your party by calling 402-562-4269. Come splash and play the Pawnee Plunge Way in Columbus from May 31st through August 8th.
Back to the Recruiting Hour with Mike Schaefer and Connor Happer, presented by Bubbles and Blocks on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to the Recruiting Hour. Mike Schaefer here at the Mark in Elkhorn at the Warren Academy Future 50. And sitting here at our table, I actually have one of Connor Happer's favorite players in all of high school football. Lincoln East quarterback Noah Walters joins us here at the table now. Happer back in the studio is pumped. Anything you want to say, Happer?
Well, I just, we got to do, probably 3 or 4 of your games last year, and it's always refreshing when there's a quarterback in the state of Nebraska who could sling it around the yard. So I certainly enjoy it and keep it up, Noah.
Appreciate it.
So Noah, I mean, you're a multi-sport guy. We were just talking off air. Your baseball season, unfortunately, just came to an end.
Yep.
You, I assume, could possibly play baseball in college, could play football in college. Has it been kind of hard for you to kind of figure out what route you'd want to go with things?
Yeah, it has. It's weird because in the season, baseball season, you start to see those interests. When you play well, all those coaches are there for those summer league games, and it's been interesting.
Yeah. Is it also hard because you have baseball season going on? You have a team that's good at Lincoln East, and it's also the heart of camp season for football.
Yeah,
and so you have tournaments going on, and you have camps that you want to get to, and you have to kind of blend those two things. How was that for you this summer?
It wasn't too bad. I have a good relationship with my baseball coach. Being able to communicate what games I'm going to miss for camp and stuff like that, what games are important. It went pretty smoothly, I think.
Yeah. Walk us through the season last year with Lincoln East. You guys started off red hot. You ended up making it to, I believe, the quarterfinals in the playoffs last year. What was working well for Lincoln East football?
I think we were able to do everything. Once teams started respecting the pass, we were able to run the ball efficiently. I think we did. Our defense held up, and we were just performing well.
Yeah, and you had to do a lot of that in the middle of the season without your favorite wide receiver, or what seemed like your favorite wide receiver in Carter Glenn.
Yeah.
And so you had to develop some other targets in there. Obviously Carter moves on. I think he's going to go play basketball.
Yep, he is.
What is Lincoln East bringing back on offense, and who are going to be some of the guys that you're going to be spreading the ball to this fall?
I think Cooper Erickson mainly. We're really good friends, always throwing the ball together, have a good relationship. Luke Greison's also going to be a main target. AJ Sizes, another main target. A lot of talent coming up.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you pretty excited then to get this thing rolling?
Extremely excited.
Yeah. So when does now that baseball season has ended, when do you kind of shift gears directly to football? I mean, do you have camps and everything with your team coming up here?
Yeah, so we already had our team camps right before we went to SDSU team camp. Those went really well. A lot of talent. Everyone came looking really good, looking big. But yeah, I think for me, transitioning started last night, right when we lost. Woke up through the football, and yeah.
So with your recruiting, what kind of teams have you sort of been hearing from so far, and where do you sort of hope to kind of take this thing as a quarterback? I mean, everyone's recruitment is a little bit unique, but quarterbacks even more so than almost any other position.
My main goal is Division I see myself in a Group of 5 or an FCS school, and just finding the school right fit for me. Right now, I'm talking to South Dakota State. Division II schools, Bemidji State and Augustana really like me. But yeah, I see myself fitting there. And I guess this summer seemed pretty slow for me recruiting-wise. But I know this year I'll perform, and I'll be able to show schools that film.
Yeah, and you were at Nebraska's camp, one of their Friday Night Lights, I believe, correct? And if I recall, you had the opportunity. It was you, and then the son of Dominic Raiola, Dylan Raiola, were kind of in a breakout group. And you guys were throwing to some of the top receivers that were there at that camp. What was that sort of event like when you got to go through that Friday Night Lights?
It was a ton of fun. Felt really welcome there. Competing, it was fun competing in front of those coaches because I know being there, being in Lincoln, it's like they're right in your backyard, but competing right in front of them was really nice.
Yeah. As a competitor, I mean, I don't know if you knew who Dylan Raiola was before he showed up, but you watch this guy and he starts throwing the ball a little bit. When you're in those camp situations, do you kind of like that because you get to work off of whatever someone else is doing?
Yeah.
And if it looks like he's doing well, then you got to up yours a little bit.
Yeah, I love competing. So, seeing the guy next to you make a good throw wants you to make a better throw. In those situations, it's just, it's tons of fun competing.
Yeah. Did you, were there any receivers that you got to go throw to that day that are here at this event, or did you get to meet anybody at the camp like that?
Yeah, I think Devon Hall was there. I was throwing to him. But, I'm not sure. I'm not sure on the top of my head.
Yeah.
It was all there. But, yeah, a lot of good receivers there. Tons of fun.
Very nice.
Hey, Noah,
So,
can I jump in here, Schaefer?
Yeah,
For a second?
absolutely.
No, could you just talk a little bit about the evolution of the Lincoln East offense? I mean, you guys were almost like full on air raid last year, where I remember when your brother was the quarterback, he was doing a little bit of that, but he was mostly running. You don't do a whole lot of running. How does that kind of work? I mean, when you think of Lincoln East football, you think of pounding the rock, and that wasn't the way it was last year.
Yeah, I think Coach Gingery did a good job of adjusting the playbook to the skill set he has on offense. He noticed we had a ton of talent, wide receivers, ton of talent, quarterback in our line. So he knew we could do a lot through the air.
Yeah, it's certainly been fun to watch. You just don't. I mean, you guys go up against teams, even here in the city of Lincoln that are known for a certain thing, and usually the teams are kind of going to keep it on the ground. They're going to slow the game down a lot. Do you guys feel like you can, cut out a niche for yourself in the way that you're doing things right now?
100%. We're able to win ball games the way that we're doing it now. This year, we'll be able to run the ball even more, being able to do both. Because I know teams going into this year, teams are going to start respecting the pass a lot more. And that's when our running backs shine. And they're going to be running the ball a ton this year.
Awesome, man. Well, I'm looking forward to it. Schaefer, you can get back after it a little bit.
What is like the next to get into the semifinals, to take that next step, or to even let your mind go a little bit further and take a Lincoln school into the finals? What do you feel like Lincoln East has to do?
Honestly, just play together. We have a ton of talent, I believe. A lot of guys that love working. A lot of guys just experience. A lot of guys coming back. I think we get the team together and we just work on it together. I think we can easily take ourselves to the finals and win ourselves a state champ.
Absolutely. There's no doubt there's a lot of talent on that Lincoln East team, and it was a lot of fun watching last year. And I imagine Connor, myself, and others are going to have as much fun watching upcoming this season. Noah, we appreciate your time joining us here on the Recruiting Hour, and looking forward to catching up with you as the season goes on.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
All right. All right, Happer, we have a lot of stuff going on here, and
you need a second?
Search. I might need a second here if you can take over for a little.
Sure, I can get you here real quick. So that's Noah Walters, the Lincoln East quarterback, going into his senior year. This year, we'll get Schaefer back in a second. So he's down at the Mark in Elkhorn. And it's a really cool thing. I was down there this morning. Steve Warren's putting on this really cool event for local media to show up and talk to some of the top really prospects in the state, top recruits in the state. So we've already on the show today, and you can go back and find these things on the podcast at ticketfm.com under the Recruiting Hour tab. Mac Owens from Aurora, Maverick Noonan from Elkhorn South, and now Noah Walters there from Lincoln East. Super cool thing. We're starting to just see, I love the direction that this state is headed as far as highlighting, spotlighting its athletes and kind of just conducting. And it's because of guys like Steve Warren. It's because of guys like Mike Sauter, Mike Schaefer in that conversation too, spotlighting these athletes and making high school sports a bigger deal. I love it. And I hope that we can kind of help along in that conversation too. Looks like we got Schaefer back now with an esteemed guest of some sort.
We're good. We have run into 2024 wide receiver Davon Hall from Bellevue West, who looks even bigger at the Warren Academy tryouts. Davon, how's it going?
It's going great.
You are one of only a couple 2024 guys invited to this event, the Warren Academy Future 50. What does that mean to you?
It's super cool, actually. I go to like the All-American games and stuff. You meet a lot of 2024 players there, and it's like if you like look at rankings and stuff, it's like you're put on the rankings, but like there's a ton of other people on there too. So like stuff like this is like super cool.
Yeah, and you have, you emerged with an offer from Iowa and with an offer from Nebraska pretty quickly onto the scene. I mean, as far as at least in the internet era of recruiting, you were the first freshman in state to pick up an offer. How do you feel like your freshman season went? And then how do you kind of use things like this to motivate you as you go through, preparing for a sophomore year where Bellevue West has some unfinished business after coming up a little short of the state title last year?
Well, freshman year, it was like, it was really hard because of COVID and stuff, but like, being able to start last year as a freshman was super, super cool. And, after the first game, getting an offer, I never thought that would happen at all. But, working my tail off throughout the season right before, joining Bellevue West was super, super crucial for me. So, that really helped me out. And, I think that, like, as you know, we lost to Kearney. And I didn't play that game, and so that was really hard for me to see us go out like that. So, I think that this year it's all gas, no brakes, all gas, no brakes. So, and I've been working on a lot of stuff this past summer, so I think that this year it's gonna be a show for sure.
And just for the people that may not be aware, I mean, there's 5 of you guys, I think, on offense alone. No, 6 with Henry that are here today in the future 50. I mean, you have the potential for a really good offense, but you did lose a guy in Keegan Johnson that meant a lot to your program. What did Keegan kind of mean to you personally as a senior when you were a freshman? I mean, there's a lot of expectation for what you could be at Bellevue West, but Keegan was that guy for last year and certainly as a junior and everything else. What did Keegan mean for you?
He meant a lot, actually, because he played there 4 years. He was really good. Having somebody like that with that much talent on your team and being able to watch him in practice every single day, learn from his lifting and conditioning stuff. That's really, really special for somebody, especially when you're in a really good program and stuff like that with all the good coaches and stuff. So like when you're in a great atmosphere like that and in the presence of somebody who's really, really good, who could potentially be like a really, really good player in college, that's really, really rare. So being able to have a relationship with Keegan during the season was really nice. And as you know, we played on opposite ends, but the routes when you do plays and stuff, they switch back and forth. So learning how he ran the route and then learning how to run the route like he did, it worked out really, really well for me. So
everybody with Bellevue West wants to talk about the passing offense, and for good reason. Keegan Johnson's really good. Xavier Betts was in the program. Caden Riley. I just combined the two of them. Caden Helms is committed to Oklahoma. Micah Riley Ducker is committed to Auburn. So there's all these offensive weapons in the passing game.
Yeah.
But how good is LJ Richards? Because it just feels like you have all of this. You can spread the whole field out.
Yes.
And oh, by the way, here's a big bowling ball of a running back that can go right up.
He is ridiculous. His speed is, especially with how big he is, like his speed's ridiculous. Like you do not find that very often at all. And honestly, I mean, you could take out me, you could take out Caden, Micah, any of our wide receivers, but if you take them out, you're still gonna have to deal with LJ. Like his speed, he has. Trust me, when we do like team stuff in practice, he's a monster. It's ridiculous. Like I would feel terrible to play against him, like be on an opposite team. Like that's scary. That's really, really scary.
I was just going to say, does a guy like LJ make you happy that you're a wide receiver?
Oh, yeah. If you are playing against him, you should be scared. Like I'm just going to leave it at that. Like you should be scared.
What was the summer like for you in terms of recruiting? Did you go to a couple different camps? Did you have an opportunity to see some different schools?
Yes.
What was that all like?
It was really eye-opening. It was really fun. I mean, COVID, of course, but being able to go like see Oklahoma, Notre Dame, of course, Nebraska and Iowa, K-State. Those were all very good experiences. So
has it kind of set in yet that like this is sort of your future? Like what you did this past summer is what it's going to be like next summer and maybe even the summer after that? Because you're still only just a sophomore and you're going to places like Notre Dame and Oklahoma.
Yeah.
You have offers from Nebraska and Iowa. What's that like?
I think about that all the time. It's like, this is my future. Like, just keep working. Like, just keep working. You're going to make it. You'll get through it. And I keep telling myself that because, I mean, you know, I get a lot of attention. And honestly, when you're the person that's getting a lot of attention, you honestly don't notice that a lot. But when you're like going to place things like this, it's like, wow, I am getting a lot of attention. And then when you're like just hanging out with your friends a lot, and you're just like, I'm really not getting that much. And then being able to like think about, if I keep working on my self throughout this whole entire process, and you're already good, then I think it's really eye-opening for players. So
it's basically you're hoping to go from good to great. And
yes.
Continuing that path
just
forward.
There's always stuff to work on. It does not matter if you say nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. And I think that it does not matter how many times you run a route. There's always something in that route that you have to fix.
Yeah. I feel like I hear a lot of Coach Huffman when you talk.
Oh,
Coach Huffman's one of our guys.
Yeah.
We have him on the show at least a couple times a year.
Yeah.
And, he was talking, we have him towards the end of May, and he was immediately talking about how there was 90-some guys that showed up for the first day of the off-season workouts. He talked about that you were putting in extra time. What did it just been for you to have Coach Huffman as a guy that's in your corner? Because it just seems like as long as you're working hard, he's always going to be backing you no matter what.
Oh yeah. He's an amazing coach. He's a great coach. And what he's done with this program has been ridiculous. And, you know, it's funny because the harder I work, the more he's on me. And I love that. I love it because I love sports. I mean, as everybody knows, I love sports. So when coaches get on me and stuff, I don't see that as being negative in any way. It just tells me that I'm working hard and I need to continue. So, and he's always just like, if a coach stops talking, if a coach stops giving you attention, that means he's moved on. And I'm like, okay, got to keep doing what I do.
Yeah.
So
very good. So we talked about some of the places that you visited, and it's a long way. It's not like there's any reason or any reason that you have to make a commitment anytime soon. But as you start to think about these schools, and you have these other guys like Caden and Micah and Keegan that have gone through the process, do you kind of have an idea of what it is that you want to look for when you look for your next program? Or is it still so far away yet?
Like, I mean, yeah, a little bit. I look at it a little bit. I don't really focus on all that stuff just because I'm young and stuff, and I wanna work on myself and how I need to get better. So, but I look at programs that use their wide receivers a lot. Obviously, you don't want to go to a running program. So, I look at stuff like that a lot, and I look at like how the coaches act, how the players interact with each other, how the players interact with people who don't play on their team, and social media and stuff. So I like to look at stuff like that. And with Mike and Caden helping me, they tell me what to look for and tell me what to focus on. So that I think that really helps.
Awesome. All right, man. Well, hey, we appreciate a few minutes of your time, Davon, and I'm sure we will be catching up with you and checking in on Bell West all season long. So we appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Was Davon Hall, one of the 2024 guys that are here at the Warren Academy Future 50. We're going to take another break. I'm going to wrangle a couple more interviews, and we're going to come back and finishing up the show next.
You're listening to the Recruiting Hour with Mike Schaefer and Connor Happer on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. 93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Heat advisories will remain in effect this afternoon and tomorrow afternoon as the heat and humidity linger on. We'll top out near 99 today. It will feel closer to 105. Tonight, a low down to around 75. high of 97 tomorrow with heat index values again well over 100. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
New owners means new lunch specials at the Fox Bar and Grill. They've just introduced tons of options on their new under $10 lunch menu. Small nachos grande, a classic cheeseburger, 4 boneless or traditional wings and fries, or a small single topping pizza for just $5 each. Try the mushroom Swiss burger or the pepper jack stack burger for just $6. And for just $7, try any of the classic steak Philly, club wrap, grilled chicken salad, or grilled southwestern salad. It's the under $10 lunch menu at the Fox Bar and Grill, just south of 14th and Pine Lake.
Get in, get out, and get your hands on a great career. At Southeast Community College, we have more than 50 programs of study to choose from, and our class sizes allow for more personal attention and a comfortable learning environment. Take a tour of our 3 campuses in Beatrice, Lincoln, or Milford, or visit the Career Advising Center if you're not sure where to begin. The fall semester starts August 23rd. Go to southeast.edu/academics to find your next step. SCC, your path to possible.
Tractor Supply Distribution Center in Waverly is now hiring for all shifts. They're a 24/7 facility and a clean environment to work in. There's potential to earn up to $25.25 per hour with opportunities for overtime. They also offer a retention bonus as new team members are eligible for a bonus as high as $1,000. Come be a part of the Tractor Supply team. Apply today at www.tractorsupply.jobs.
Hey, it's Mike Schaefer. Join me and Connor Happer on Friday from 2 to 6 at the Pawnee Plunge in Columbus. It's a 4-hour opening splash, a great way to end the summer, and we'll have some surprise guests joining us too. That's this Friday for the Recruiting Hour and the Drive at the Pawnee Plunge Water Park in Columbus.
Baseball's back, Lincoln, and that means Fireworks Fridays are too. Come out to Haymarket Park for Friday home games to celebrate the Lincoln Salt Dogs' 20th season with baseball, giveaways, and of course, post-game fireworks. We're glad to have you back in the stands. Watch us light up the sky for our celebration season. Get your tickets to the best night out in Lincoln at saltdogs.com.
We're out to prove that having a face for radio is just a myth, and you can decide for yourself by watching all of our shows on 93.7 The Ticket on the new video stream, sponsored by Sartor Heyman Jewelers. Now you can watch Early Break, DP and Stevens, The Recruiting Hour, The Drive, and more on Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube every day and in real time. Watch 93.7 The Ticket shows today and every day on the Sartor Heyman Jewelers video stream on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. Back to the Recruiting Hour with Mike Schaefer and Connor Happer, presented by Bubbles and Blocks on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Yeah, you can. Yep. All right, here we go. Welcome back to the Recruiting Hour. Mike Schaefer, Connor Happer in studio. I am here at the Mark in Elkhorn for the Warren Academy Future 50, and I found the man here that has a far better beard than my own. And, of course, I would be talking about Iowa State commit Hunter Deo. Hunter, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I am good. You just recently committed Iowa State. It's been, what, a couple weeks?
Yep, something like that.
Yeah. What? Let's just kind of dive into that to start with. What led to that being the decision for you? I feel like when I was checking around with people, Iowa's name popped up a lot because Logan Jones, former teammate of yours at Lewis Central, is over at Iowa. What made Iowa State the right place for you?
When you said Logan Jones, he did play a big factor in my decision, but I took official visits to both of them, Iowa State, and K-State was in there, but they filled all their scholarships, so they're out the door. But when I took my official visits, I just felt something at Iowa State that I didn't feel at Iowa. And when I sat down with Coach Campbell and all that, we just had a great heart-to-heart conversation and put my mom into tears and all that jazz. And I just knew right then and there that I was going to have to top this, and they didn't. And so that's where I wanted to be, and it's where I'm going to go. So.
Yeah. Was it hard ultimately going through that process because someone's going to be disappointed at the end of it?
I mean, yeah, when I first posted I was committed, there's a whole bunch of comments on there that are haters and all that stuff. But all that, and end of the day, that's all just going to fuel me and all that stuff. So they could hate on an 18-year-old kid that's doing the best thing they could do for them, but just out of their days, oh, well, you know what I mean? I'm still going to be me. I'm still going to do whatever I want to do. And, yeah, so.
So talk to us about what's going on over at Lewis Central, because just a great run for that school right now. We just mentioned Logan Jones. Obviously, Nebraska has Thomas Fedoni. You're going to Iowa State. You were telling me about Wyatt Hatcher, a great linebacker that you have, Jonathan Humple as well, a 2023 athlete, could play running back, wide receiver, could play defensive back.
Yeah.
What's going on at Lewis Central? I mean, you guys are just churning out D1 players right now, Power 5 guys at that.
Yeah, it's just a culture. I mean, Coach Duggan, before he left, did a great job of building a culture, saying, I know it's kind of strict, but we don't allow tights. We don't allow not face masks, advisors or running backs or anybody that touches the ball can't wear sleeves or anything like that. It's just something we build and something that we've stuck to, and Cameron did a great job sticking to. And then, of course, the weight room. We're in the weight room every single day. Every day we're in there just getting our lifts in, getting out, go run, go stay in condition and all that stuff. So that's just something that it's a big part of all our program and all that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you feel like you kind of bring to the table for Lewis Central? I know when I went and watched last September, I was pretty impressed by what you were doing as an interior defensive lineman. But what do you feel like your strengths are as a player?
I mean, I'm very physical. I love beating the guy. I love beating the guy in front of me. It's just one of my favorite things to do, say, ha, I just kicked your butt, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's just my strengths are I'm very light on my feet. I mean, right now I'm 285 and I can still run a 4.8, 4.9 40. I mean, it's pretty decent for how big I am, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it just I don't know. I know where the ball is going to be. I don't know, but at the same time, I do. I have a smell for the ball. I just love the sport, and I'm just going to stick to it. So,
yeah. Do you are you trash talker?
Not really. No. I more talk to the refs than anything else. like the Sergeant Bluff game that you said you were at.
Yeah.
Me and that ref are actually really good friends at the end of it, because I don't know what it is. I had to go to the bathroom really bad. He was like, "Hold on, buddy, you're almost there. You're almost there." And it's just something. It's just I don't know. I've always done when I was younger to say, "Hey, how's your day going? You're doing good," and all that stuff. So. It's just something I've always done.
Do they ever tell you to stop talking to them?
No, they're all good men, and sometimes they do make a bad call. I'm like, come on, bro, give me a little slack. And they're like, I gotta call it even. But I know they're all good men. None of them do, but sometimes it gets a little chippy, and maybe I'll say something, but most of the time, no.
Yeah. What's your level of enthusiasm for this upcoming season for Iowa State? I mean, they're a consensus top 10 team, which is pretty uncharted territory in Ames. They have a lot of talent returning, including some of the best players in the country, both at quarterback and at running back. I mean, what's your enthusiasm for just what Iowa State has going on right now? I mean, you're going to be part of it.
Yeah.
But just this year that they have coming up could be new territory for them.
I mean, they're still going to go out and play how they did last year. They're going to go out and ball. Brees Hall's going to ball like he has been. We got something on Twitter post that we were number 2 out of 50 teams in the whole college world and of their O-line. So our O-line, you dang well know it's strong. So Brees Hall is going to run behind those units and just going to go out there and kick some butt, I guess.
Yeah. I know Nebraska fans would be angry if I didn't get at least a Fedoni question in here at this point. What's the most impressive thing you've seen him do on a football field?
I don't know, man. There's so much. He's so impressive. I love the guy, but at the same time, he's just such a good, kind-hearted guy. And there's so much stuff that I remember watching him. Braylon, our quarterback, was rushed out of the pocket, and he just chucked it up. Thomas went back and just snagged it right out of there. I was like, oh my, and just brightened my eyes. And he's such a great athlete. I mean, if he stuck with track, he would have won some stuff in that stuff. So.
Yeah. Does he kind of embody that culture you were talking about at Lewis Central where, I mean, he's very talented, but at least from my vantage point of covering recruiting for a while, he works as hard as just about anyone I've seen.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Him and Logan Jones, hardest workers I've ever seen. Those two, even when their body's done, shut down everything, they're pushing it. So I've never seen anybody work harder than those two, and my hats off to those guys. You know what I mean? They're just crazy athletes that work their butt off.
Yeah, and that's what you need when you're trying to build a football program.
for
I'm
sure. For
So,
sure.
all right, man. Well, hey, we appreciate
no problem.
a few minutes of your time here today, and hopefully you enjoyed the experience at the Warren Academy.
Yeah, for sure.
Future 50.
For sure. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. It was Hunter Deo. Happer.
Yes.
How do you feel like it went today?
Oh, it's good. And I was saying while you were gone one of those times, I just love what they're doing. The focus on the high school athletes in the state or in the area, it's a great thing. It's a great thing for us to get to know the people, to get to know the team, stuff like that, and you get to know them as recruits before they're big-time college football players. And I think all the people that you talked to today are probably going to end up being that.
Yeah, it has been, it's remarkable. I mean, there's a lot of media here. There's a couple different radio shows going on. You have all sorts of interviews. A number of the people that we have on this program, whether it's Parker Gabriel or Mike Sauter out here doing interviews as well. And so it's just a good reminder. There's so much talent here in the state of Nebraska and nearby Iowa that you can get caught up in what's going on in recruiting elsewhere in the country. But there's a lot of good football players right here. And so this event, I think, has been really well received, and I highly doubt this is the last time that Steve Warren will have something like this going on. So pretty exciting stuff.
Yes. And we got about 10 seconds left, so we're out of here. Good stuff, Shane.
All right, well, hey, the drive is up next, and we'll be back in studio tomorrow for the next edition of the Recruiting Hour.